This is Matt for Into Boxing. I am delighted to be joined by the Diva, Gary Cully. We said you were best kept secret in Ireland, and you proved it tonight. You beat former world champion Miguel Vazquez. Tough customer, but you went out there, you did your thing, performed, did a bit of an Ali shuffle at one point.
Yes, sir.
Talk me through it. Incredible night for you.
Yeah, Ireland's best kept secret. I don't know if it's much of a secret anymore after tonight, but yeah, man, I'm buzzing. That was it was the performance that I knew I was capable of putting in, and everything that we've been working on in the gym over the past. That was a long time, probably 12, 14 weeks, and everything we've been working on showed tonight. I've been working really hard. I've always believed in my potential. I've always backed myself, and it's starting to show, and now other people are starting to see it.
You've always talked about wanting the big stage. You mentioned you've been saying Eddie Hearn's name for a long time. Put me on these shows, put me on these shows. Today you came out full Diva gear, did your thing, come out to your music. You showed off a little bit in there as well. You showed a bit of your personality, you moved him around the ring, you know, good footwork, and I mentioned the Ali shuffle as well. You tried to put on, not just to get the win, but you tried to put on a show, didn't you, in there?
Yeah, that's what I always try and do. I want to get in and put on a show, excite the fans, entertain. That's what it's all about, really. Is people need to want to watch you fighting. So every time that you see me fighting, I want you to be interested in when I'm fighting next. So I like to entertain. I like to put on a show. We work. Speaking for myself personally, I work so hard. I work, like I said, 12 or 14 weeks there for this fight, twice a day, 6 days a week. So when I'm going in there, I say to myself, let's put on a show, let's put on a performance, because that's what all the hard work is for, is to show it all off on the night. And I believe I can do a lot in there, and my skill set is, there's a lot to show. So I do like to show off as much as possible when I can.
Yeah, and people forget that you've got to enjoy it. Like Eddie Hearn said in the post-fight with Lee Wood, you know, when we said he was coming out, you know, soak it in. These atmospheres are something that you want to live with you. Do you feel like you got everything out of it that you could have? You know, you had a big entrance. The opponent was a big name. You know, we know what he was famous for over here when he came over, that tough fight with Ritson. But yeah, you feel like you got everything out of this experience? Was it everything you hoped for?
100%. This whole week I've been saying to myself in my head, soak it all in, soak it in, soak it in. From the public workout to the press conference to the weigh-in, I just experienced it all. I was here in the moment for every bit of it, and then going out to the ring on fight night tonight, I stopped myself in the change room for a second and said, okay, take a breath, take all this in. When you go out here, this is going to be electric, and make sure you take it all in and enjoy every moment of it. And I did that, and did the same in the ring. When I'm in the ring, that's when I feel like I'm most comfortable. All the outside stuff, I have to stop myself and tell myself to, don't get too focused on getting in the ring. Enjoy this first, enjoy the press conference first, enjoy the weigh-in first. But when I'm in the ring, that's when I'm at home, and that's when I'm most comfortable. I always enjoy it in there.
Talk to us about your performance. Would it be fair to say, you say, took you around or so to sort of have a look and work him out, because he's a level above what you've been fighting. He's someone who's been there, done it, and he's, like I said, he's a tough customer for anyone. But you sort of almost collected that data in the first round or so, worked your way into it. Is that how you sort of see it? Or was it like a bit of a progression, you know, and then you worked out, look, this is what I can do? Because you managed to get a beautiful knockdown before that finish as well. Yeah,
the plan was to be patient. That was the number one priority for this performance, was maturity and patience, because nobody does that to Miguel Vazquez. So to go in and land a shot in the second round and think you have him hurt and jump on him, and then all of a sudden you're blown, and he recovers then and comes on strong in the third or the fourth or the fifth. So the plan was always to be patient, to have a look, not get too carried away, show a bit of maturity, and that's what I did. The game plan was win the first 5 rounds and then turn the screw on him and finish it late then, and start putting the pressure on after 5, 6, 7, 8 when he starts slipping, and I can start going through the gears then. But I had a look in the first round. He was a little bit awkward, got my distance, got my timing, and then by the time it actually took me quicker than I thought. I was thinking maybe 2-3 rounds to get the distance. Got it in the first round, landed a shot in the second, and as soon as I had the distance, I knew every time the left hand landed it was going to hurt.
Is distance always going to be key for you, because you're so tall and because he's so big for the weight? Is distance always going to be key? Because a lot of the time you'll be fighting, you know, the smaller opponents, and you've got to work it out. Does it make it a little bit more tricky that you're not always fighting someone who's going to meet you head on, face to face?
Yeah, well, I think distance is very important in boxing with any fighter, but I just seem to have a very good understanding and a very good way of controlling that distance. But distance with Miguel Vazquez is a different distance than what I might need to fight my next fight at. Distance with Miguel Vazquez, I couldn't really go close because he's very, very awkward and he's a bit wiry and he doesn't like to really stand and fight. Whereas I can fight close distance as well. So possibly in my next fight where somebody might want to tie me into a war or bring me into a dog fight, I can do that too as well. So the distance tonight for Miguel Vazquez had to be middle to long distance. Going through the levels, and in future fights maybe it might be short, it might be middle distance, but I can do them all. So yeah.
You mentioned in there obviously you can go to war. Now there was little segments of that fight where you were both trading up. You like a war. I mean, you can move and do all the footwork and pivot around him and stuff. But let's be honest, you're a hard puncher. You like it when it gets down to nitty gritty, when they sit in the pocket with you and you can have a bang, don't you? Let's be honest, you like that.
More than I should have, pal. Yeah, more than I should.
A little bit.
Pete does be in my ear all the time. Use your boxing, use your boxing. You don't need to go to war all the time, but I love a good scrap as well. Probably I'm fighting on boxing since I'm 5-6 years old. Fighting with my brother in the living room, fighting on the road in the estate. So I'm just born. I've been brought up fighting my whole life, and it's something that I actually enjoy doing. So I don't mind taking one or two. Obviously we like to protect our brain cells, and I want to get hit as less as possible. But yeah, I like a war as well, and I like a good dust up, and I believe that close distance is a really, really strong distance for me as well to fight at.
When you look at what you've done now, you can't really take a step back. You've made that leap to the big show, to former world champion. You can't now go back. So what's next for you? Do you want a sort of a similar calibre opponent who's got the wins on the record, who's been there, maybe done it, and maybe is someone who's going to give you another test, or maybe test some other parts of your game, maybe a pressure fighter who won't let you breathe for the fight? Is that now finding you the right match to sort of bring the best out of you again?
Yeah, exactly. It's just about ticking the right boxes now. So I tick the boxes with Miguel Vazquez tonight, being the awkward. You're going to have to take your time. You're going to have to be patient. People said he might nick a round off you. He might nick 2 rounds off you because he's so awkward, and that's his style. So I tick them boxes tonight, and then maybe we'll look down the lines of like someone like that who sits on your chest, or somebody who moves backwards, or solving different problems, and getting ready to start mixing it with these world level lads, these top names.
Yeah, you mentioned some of the names before. You mentioned like Tank and everybody. That's something on the forefront of your mind. You feel now if an opportunity, someone just goes, look, do it, you feel hand on heart, stick me in, I'm ready.
I'm ready. I've been ready. But yeah, for sure, like, no disrespect to anybody, but the performances I'm putting in, I feel like I've shown that. And I just want to fight the biggest names, be involved in the biggest nights, brightest lights, which involves big platforms, big money. That's what we're here for. So that's why I'm in boxing, that's why I joined boxing. And it's a dangerous sport, we need to get paid for it as well. So if I'm involved in fights with the big names, it's of course going to come with big money as well. So that's what I want, and that's what I've always wanted. So yeah, that is the plan, of course.
Let's just touch on fellow countryman Michael Conlan. I think we've heard that he's stable in hospital and he's doing all right. But let's just say best wishes. Hopefully he's doing okay. I don't know what you saw of the main event, because I don't know what did you manage to catch them in it?
Front row, yeah, I was sitting ringside, yeah.
So one of the most incredible fights I've ever seen in terms of the swing and how it ended. What do you make of it?
I just said it was probably the best fight I've ever seen live. Just want to send my wishes to Mick, because absolutely devastated for him. Coming over here, he was 20 seconds away from making history and becoming our next world champion, and I was really, really rooting for him, and it's a sad thing to see, but unfortunately this is boxing and this is the sport we're in, and it's ruthless at times, and I'm sure Mick will come back. I wish him a speedy recovery, and I'm sure he'll come back. But like I said, that was one of the best fights, probably the best fight I'd ever seen live. A massive credit to Lee Wood for what he did, getting knocked down in the first round. I looked at my missus and said, this fight's over, it's done. He looked like he was finished, got up, saved by the bell, and came back, and both of them went to the trenches, both of them went to war, both of them dug deep. And yeah, what an amazing fight! What an amazing! It was kind of overshadowed by how it ended, but yeah, no, what a fight, and what an amazing card.
I think the only thing we'd say about this is this should have been the big moment, obviously, for Lee at the end. Don't get me wrong, it is, but it's one of them because of obviously the nature of the knockout. It's a bit more subdued. But look, yeah, credit Lee Woods. I'm a bit like you. I saw it and thought he was getting, then got dig to the body, but the heart that man showed in that ring, incredible. Deserves everything he gets. Look, Gary, I took some of your time. I know it's getting on. Thanks for talking to Into Boxing. You gave us an interview earlier in the week. Brilliant, and we'll catch up again at the next show. If you've got a message to any fans, anyone who's supported you again?
Thank you to each and every Irish person that travelled over, whether it be for me, whether it be for Mick, whether it be for Keevan or Thomas. Appreciate each and every one of you that came out. Thank you to everybody who tuned in on the zone. Thank you to everybody who sent me a message, who shared my posts, who likes my posts. Thank you to you guys for giving me the platform to speak. To everybody who gives us guys the platform to speak out and just get ourselves out there, because it's important for us. So yeah, thank you to everybody, and keep supporting, because this is only the start.
Yep, can't wait to see the journey, Gary. Pleasure. Thanks again.
Appreciate it, man.